Right, so I'm basically having to re-record the audio on the intro because what I didn't account for, like a numpty, was the wind, and it was absolutely shocking. So here we are then, the Rolls-Royce Silver Wraith, 1972. Just look at the car, it's beautiful. Here I are there, just looking at it in awe. We're going to tell you a bit about the car, tell you how much it weighs, tell you what's under the bonnet, tell you how it drives as well. Let's have a quick look around. I mean, just look at the car, look at the wheels, look at the lines. They don't make cars like this anymore. That grille is massive. The Rolls-Royce Flying Spur. So we're going to get some cameras in the windscreen and we're going to go for a drive.
Ready to blow me down. Let it go, make my body go. Take our bodies higher and higher and higher. We can go until the morning glow. We can go higher.
Right, the 1972 Silver Wraith. Let's fire it up. Now, one thing about these cars, when you first fire them up, it's got an automatic choke, so you have to wait for the to stop, to go off before you can actually do anything. So while we wait for that, I'll tell you a bit about it. Under the bonnet is a 6.75 litre engine. Yes, I said that right. A 6.75 litre engine. It produces, well, it produced when it was new 200 horsepower. Well, that's what the facts and figures say on the internet. But it was claimed to produce 200 horsepower from a 6.75 litre engine when it was new. God knows what it's got now. Probably not 200 horsepower, but there we go. One thing I will say is the seats are extremely comfortable. It's like sitting in a lounge chair. This comes down, I believe. It's like sitting in an armchair. It's very spongy and soft and wallowy. But we will wait for the choke to go off. I think the first thing we need to do is go for some fuel, because there's a fuel gauge. There's a fuel gauge there, and a light underneath that's not on. Then there's a fuel light over here that is on, and I don't understand what means what. So first thing we're going to do is hit the fuel station, and then we'll go for a drive. Right then, the 1972 Rolls-Royce. I've been to the fuel station and I put £40 in, and the fuel light is still on. Whether the fuel light's a bit wrong or this car is just absolutely horrendous on fuel, I don't know, but it is 6.75 litres. Like I say, 6.75 litres, and it produced when it were new, 200 horsepower, or that's what the specs on the internet say. To be fair, the specs on the internet are a little bit vague. I don't think anybody's really precise on what the specs are. But look, there's no 0 to 60 times anywhere, and I'm not going to even try to give you a 0 to 60 time, because at the end of the day, it's a 1972 car, so it's very old. So I'm not quite going to push it at all, really. It's mainly just for cruising about, and that's all it was built for. It drives as you would imagine it to, shockingly. The steering is very wallowy. When you put the brakes on, it tries to throw you whichever way it wants to. Now this car, it's not my car, it's a friend of mine's car, and he bought it as a project to renovate it. The interior does need a bit of work doing to it, and the bodywork needs a little bit of work, but what a classic. This video is going to be a short and sweet video because I have been told that it is horrendous on fuel and there's not a lot of warning and it will just cut out. Now I've just put £40 worth of super unleaded into it, which I know in today's price of fuel is not a lot, but I'm not actually going that far and I don't want it to cut out. So it is going to be a short and sweet video. Let's get out of here. But it feels great. I mean, I'm driving a 1972 Rolls Royce. It's not every day you get to do this. I'm sat here driving a steering wheel that's as thin as a twig. The bonnet just reaches out in front of me for miles, and then there's the famous Rolls Royce Flying Spur sitting per hour at the front of the bonnet. I mean, as far as comfort goes, I'm cruising down the road here at about 42 miles per hour, and I couldn't be comfy, to be honest. Like I said, the seats are like sitting in an armchair. Electric windows on a 1972 car. That was luxury back in the day. Today, you just think, yeah, every car comes with electric windows, but 1972. This had electric windows. The key for this car looks like a key that you'd have for your windows at home. There's no fancy flip out key or keyless entry or keyless start or anything like that. It's a bog standard key, and I say it looks like a window key, but nevertheless it works, and that's all you need. You can't afford to go too fast in this car, because if you need to brake hard, you're going to end up in somebody's house, because when you press the brakes it does like to throw you whichever way it wants to, either left or right, which isn't really the greatest, to be honest. The suspension is weird. It feels not stiff, but it feels hard, but then when you turn a corner or you're driving, it's really wallowy. It's a very weird experience, to be honest. It is very hot in here because I put the windows up so you won't be able to hear me. I don't know where the blowers are, if it's even, it has got blowers. I don't know where the controls for the blowers are. I love the quirkiness though. It's just the dashboard and the dials in front of me, so retro. You don't get anything like this, and obviously it's retro, it's from 1972. But you certainly don't get cars like this anymore. Now, literally when I'm braking, I'm literally able to turn the steering wheel from left to right to try and keep it straight. M5 comp, very nice. It's certainly not a day-to-day car. I mean, you could drive it day-to-day. One, you'd be skint, because even though it only produces 200 horsepower, like it did when it was new, it's a 6.75 litre engine. So, as you can imagine, hello Mr. Motorbike, as you can imagine, it's going to swallow some juice. But if you had a bit of money and you wanted to spend some money on it and do it up, it is a lovely car. Like I say, this one needs a bit of TLC. The interior needs a bit of a retrim and a tart up. The exterior can do with a bit of bodywork, but apart from that, it is a lovely car. It's got cruise control, believe it or not. It's not called cruise control, it's called speed control. You turn it on and off with a switch, and there's an increase and a decrease button to increase and decrease the speed, obviously. I'm not going to try it because, as I say, it's a 1972 car, and whether it works or not, I don't know, but we'll leave it as it is. One thing you do get in this car is looks. Everybody that's drove past me has been eyeing up the car, as if to say either, what on earth is he doing driving that, or what a lovely car. There's no USBs or Bluetooth. Here is Frank Sinatra, an 8-track of Frank Sinatra. I don't know if it works. I don't know how to turn the volume up. I've got no idea. I pressed a button, nothing happened. So Sorry Frank Sinatra, but we're not listening to you today. Wing mirrors, it's got one this side and none that side. I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to be. Is it supposed to have a wing mirror on that side? I don't know. Excuse my ignorance. I don't know, is it supposed to have a wing mirror on that side? Put in the comments, is it supposed to have a wing mirror on both sides, or is it just the one? I don't know. I mean, it has got some comforts that you'd find on today's cars, like I say. It's got the electric windows, it's got electric seats, electric positioning seats on a 1972 Rolls Royce. I mean, this was the height of luxury in 1972, and people thought you were a person of real significance if you had one of these. I think you can pick these up these days. I think they're worth about £10,000 to £15,000. I'll find an advert for one and I'll put it on the screen now. But I think they're worth about £10,000 to £15,000 in good condition these days. The carpets in this car are what I can only describe as rugs. They are horrendously thick mats for a car. You certainly don't get them like this these days, but they are literally like rugs, like a rug on the bottom of your feet. Very luxurious. We've got a greeny blue one on that side, and we've got like a beigey sandy coloured one on this side. So whoever thought of that colour scheme must be fruitful.